The people that build brands win, not the people that do sales. And so the agents that have really given a crap were able to build reputation and build brands. And the people that were just in it for the money had quick wins and then over time lost that edge. And so it's always been important. It's just more obvious now because we see it playing out digitally. It's not hidden.
Well, hello, David. I'm so honored to chat with you because I'm sure there are a ton of people that are dying to know how you even got this Gary Vee interview to even happen. I think that's what we're going to talk about today because I think it just didn't happen with 1 or 2 or 3 outreaches. Just like getting guests on your show, you know, this is very similar to a sales related activity, right? And so everybody listening, just so you know, I'm Michele, aka the Pitch Queen, and you can find me at thepitchqueen.com. But I just think it's so cool that you were able to get Gary Vee on your show. And I would love if we could start out by just tell us how many times did you actually reach out to him and might not have even heard from him.
Yeah. Well, first off, thanks for doing this for me. I appreciate it. And I know from our last interview, you had done such a great job. I said, if there's anybody that I want to interview me for this, it's going to be you. So it was a process. You know, I went out to New York back in October. And it's interesting because, I mean, it's only it's October was 5-6 months ago. With the intention of meeting Gary and you know, I bought a VIP ticket to a Synergy event. And the whole goal was to meet Gary, give him my book, and get him on my podcast. And he actually, I was able to do that through my VIP connection. Met him. He actually was carrying my book on stage, which was pretty cool. And then at the photo shoot, I said, Gary, what can I do to get you on a podcast? He's like, we'll make it happen. And I kind of held him at that, right? Mm-hmm. You know, I sent, I don't know, who knows how many emails. I email right away. You know, probably at least 10 emails, right? There's no way you can get those guys on the phone. I didn't know his cell phone number. I didn't know any of his guys' numbers. So that's really where it started, you know. And then I wasn't able to make that happen. So I knew he had another event coming up in Miami in January, Agent 2021. So again, I did the exact same thing. I bought a VIP ticket, but this time I did contact one of his salespeople. And I says, hey, if I can sell some additional tickets, because the VIP tickets were 1,500, which actually they've gone up a lot now since then, but they were 1,500 a piece. I said, if I can sell a couple additional tickets for you, will you get me into the AskGaryVee filming? And she said, let me get back to you. She got back to me and said, yeah, get us 2 more sales and we'll do that. And so I did it, which got me into the filming. And that was when I actually connected with him. And I asked him if he would be on the show. Well, he remembered me anyway from the event before because I handed him my book when he was on stage, right? Mm-hmm. You know, anyway, I got on the show, and after he interviewed me during the Ask Gary Vee episode, so after when he was signing books, and I actually have the video on YouTube, I'm like, Gary, man, you know, what I need to do to get you on my show? And he's like, he said to his guy, Tyler, that was sitting next to me, he said, Tyler, make it happen. He goes, make it happen in 30 days. So anyway, you know, now this is 3.5 months later. So Tyler now emails me. So, okay, now I got the guy, right? I'm emailing back and forth with Tyler. And finally I get somebody, this lady, Alex, says, okay, we're going to get you set up with Gary. So I'm like, finally, yes. Now, the crazy part of this whole thing, Michele, is I had put my podcast on hold. Because when I met Gary in October, I had told everybody, I said to my podcast audience, hey, we've got Gary Vee. He's coming on for episode number 100. That was the plan. So then all of a sudden, I wasn't able to make that happen. So I said, you know what, right before Agent 2021, I told everybody, hey, I'm putting this is episode 99. I'm putting it on hold. And we're going to keep it on hold until I get Gary. All right. So here's where you come in, though, because, you know, I was really committed to this. And, you know, and I don't quit. It's very, you know, I just sometimes to my detriment, right? I won't quit. So anyway, here's what happened. I got the interview set up, and I kind of wish I said something to this on Gary. If you listen to the recording after, which you will, you'll see Gary thought he was still episode number 100. But what happened was his guy, Tyler and Alex, we had a call set up. So I called in, and then they said, hey, he's running like 15 minutes behind schedule. So I said, okay, no problem, I'll wait. So finally, 90 minutes went by, and Gary never got on the call.
Oh, my God.
So I was like, you know, and I'm in my mind, you know, should I have waited longer? And finally I just said, you know what, we just need to reschedule. So I left it at that, and Alex sent me an email. Sorry, something came up and we apologize. We'll reschedule. And then the lines went blank. I had sent like 5 or 6 emails. Nobody was responding.
So you sent 10 emails before, then 5 or 6 after. But I think like for, your audience and everybody listening, this is somebody who is determined, and I think when we have this mission, right? Like you promised everybody that he was going to be episode 100. You literally did whatever it takes. And I think I talked about this. I don't know if we did, but I've got this thing called like working the room 101. And if you want to meet somebody who's maybe influential or who, I'm just curious too, David, like, can you tell us all why him? Why Gary? Like, what does Gary Vee mean to you?
Well, Gary is obviously the social media guru. I started following him about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. And I don't know, he just inspired me. I love his message. I love how direct and to the point he is. He's no fluff. You know what I mean? He just tells it the way it is. And so I was inspired by that. And then when I met him, I just felt like he's genuine. And I still believe that. Even with everything that happened, I know Gary is genuine, and Gary's the guy who made this happen. His people, guaranteed, his people did not make this happen. He did, because he gave his word. And I feel like that's part of it. And I can relate to his message. He helped me out a lot in my business. I started using his strategies in my real estate business. So there's a lot of reasons. But in the end, I feel like Gary personally made this interview happen because he said he would make it happen. But what I was going to say is, so after this whole thing where I got left on the phone for 90 minutes and the phone, 90 days, 90 minutes and the phones went blank, the emails went blank. I finally just said, F it. You know what? I'm going to use the clip from when I was in the AskGaryVee show in Miami at Agent 2021, I recorded him and I had like a 6-minute back and forth dialogue. So I finally said, you know what? Whatever. I'm just going to use that clip as episode 100. It is Gary Vee, right? So that's what I agreed to do. And I told everybody, all right, we're coming back. I've got the clip with Gary Vee. I'm going to use it. I also used a few other people on it. I made it into like a bunch of different interviews. It's actually a really cool interview, episode 100. But anyway, as soon as I released that, who do you think I hear back from? Gary's assistant. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, literally. So anyway, I hear from them. I'm like, oh, this is awesome. So I set up the interview. Episode number 100 just came out like the day before. They emailed me on like a Wednesday, and she was like, can you do it on a Friday? And I said, hell yeah. I moved my schedule around, and I made it work. So, of course, the first thing Gary says, and you're going to hear it on the interview when he picks up, he's like, all right, man, is this episode 100? I'm like, no, actually, this is going to be episode 103. No, actually, it's 103, to be honest with you. But anyway, it's just the whole story. It's kind of this whole crazy story of yeah, I wouldn't give up. And then finally, when I don't know, I'm not going to say I gave up. I just said, you know what, this is just probably never going to happen. I had what I needed to kind of almost like a technicality, I guess. I don't know. You tell me what your thoughts are on episode 100, because I just felt like it wasn't going to happen, after waiting on the call that long. And then it ended up coming together anyway. And I believe I owe that to Gary. I feel like I sent, and beyond the 15 emails, that doesn't even include the 25, Instagram messages, Facebook messages, Twitters, everything. And I finally, It was interesting though, because after I was left on hold, I emailed Gary directly, and I just pretty much said, dude, I really feel like you're genuine. You're a man of your word. You said you were going to make that interview happen in 30 days, and I'm surprised it hasn't happened, and it took a couple of weeks, but I got that email, and I feel like that was just Gary that made that happen. So I honored that.
And I think all of that and your persistence and the 25 Instagram messages, I mean, let's just go through the list of everything that you did so everyone listening can understand that if you're working with a new client or there's someone you really, really, really want to work with, it's just not one tweet. It's not one message. It's not one email. I mean, let's actually calculate and total everything that you did, because this is pretty impressive. So I think you said 15 emails, right? 25.
Well, I'm approximating, but yes, I mean,
all right, let's go through the
you're
list.
going 5 months of pretty much stalking Gary, right? on a regular. But yeah, we'll go
I
through
call
the
it
list.
being professionally annoying.
Okay, I love it. All right, love it.
So what did you do in the 5 months in total? If you had to go and just summarize it all in one clump for us.
I'm going to give you a guesstimate, Michele. I feel like, I probably sent a total of about 10 emails. I know Gary's big on, he likes persistence, but he doesn't like people that are super annoying. He's like, some people will keep sending me email after email after email every day. And then he just, he deletes them. He makes sure people can't email him. So I didn't want to do that, obviously.
Like, what is your email saying it? Or what did you think for Gary, where he's like, you know what, I am going to make this happen for David? Like, what do you think it was in your messaging and what you said? Because I think a lot of times we reach out to people and it's like crickets, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think is different between your message versus all the other ones that he's probably deleted?
I think I used Gary's own strategies against him, because every message I sent was, hey, it's me. You agreed to do the podcast. What can I do to bring value to you? You know what I mean? In some of the message, I didn't even ask about the podcast. I'm like, Gary, is there anything I can do? As a matter of fact, I even promoted his book on a couple of my episodes. I ran promotions for him. I sent him the promotions. I bought 25 copies of his book, pre-order, and I let him know that, so I just kept trying to bring as much value as I could to him at the same time. You know what I mean? So I think that was part of it.
And I think that's really important, like for everybody listening. If there's someone you want to work with, or there's someone you want to, for you and I, interview on the podcast, there has to be something in it for them. Again, this is all about them. This isn't about us, right? Obviously, Gary's reach is a lot greater than maybe some of ours, but he was where we were one day. Right?
Yeah,
like he's not any different than us, but you bought his book, you pre-ordered it, you ran promos, even on your podcast. And like you said, you were always trying to serve and be of value first. And I just wanted to point that out, because that's really how that email and the interview that you did with him actually came to fruition, because it was about value and about him. It wasn't about you.
Yeah, I feel like at the end, I went through the whole thing, and then at the end, the final email, and it was it. I pretty much said, this is my last email. And I didn't even include his peeps on it, only Gary. And I just said, hey, listen, man, I know you agreed to this. I really, truly believe you're a man of your word. And, I'm confident you're going to honor that. But at this point, I just wanted to reach out to you one last time. And anyway, and for whatever reason, I guess he just decided to respond to it. I mean, that's not the exact email. I don't have the email in front of me, but it was along those lines of, hey, just wanted to let you know one last time, I respect you. I know you're a man of your word, and hopefully we'll make this happen. If not, I wish you the best, So
you did a little bit of a takeaway at the end. Okay, so let's go through the list of everything, because I kind of got off track. So 10 emails in the last 5 months. 2 VIP tickets that you purchased to live events.
Yeah, that was a good chunk of money. One of them, that travel, but it was worth it anyway, because obviously I got stuff from the event. The messages from, DMs from Instagram, tagging him on everything, Facebook messages, Twitter. I bought a box of 25 books before the book had even come out. So just a bunch of stuff. I mean, I just kept, staying in front of him and letting him know that I was doing anything I could to help him. And, and I realized my audience was a lot smaller than his. He said that too on the interview. He's like, he goes, some people would probably think that I'm, this is not the best use of my time. But I said, well, I appreciate you doing it. You know what I mean? And he knows what he's doing. I mean, he's a smart man. He's interviewing some of the people he's interviewed, it's like ridiculous, right? I mean, and then there's me. So, I mean, that's awesome, right? It makes me feel extremely good about myself. And I'm just so glad I was able to make that happen, because not a lot of people have been able to make that happen.
Yeah, but I also think that not only that, he's bringing value to all of your audience. So, with the real estate business, you're going to learn something that you can put into action like today, and even just learning and listening to what you did proves out, if there's a will, there's a way. And if you can make something happen, it's all in your hands. It's just, what are you willing to do to make it happen?
Yeah.
And how are you going to bring value to the people that you want to really work with, because it's all about them first.
Yeah, no, I love what you're saying. I feel like this is the same way we're successful in our real estate business, because it's more than just a phone call or just an email or just a door knock. Because right now we're doing all that, and we're running Facebook ads, that I got from Gary, frankly, right, from following him. So people are seeing us everywhere, and they realize that, our goal is to, bring value to them. And I feel like if I just sent emails, it probably wouldn't have worked, right? If I just went to the event, it probably wouldn't have worked. If I just, stalked him on social media, it wouldn't have worked. It was a combination of everything. And then, just being genuine. I feel like he's genuine, and I feel like I'm successful because I'm genuine as well.
Yeah, definitely. You are, and it was an honor to share this experience and, let all of your listeners know what actually went on behind the scenes to make this happen. And David, I think this really just goes to show what kind of human you are and what you're up to in the world and how you want to give and be of service to many. So it was an honor to be here with you this morning. Hey,
I thank you for your time, and thank you for doing this. And like I said, there was no other person I thought would do a better job. As I was right on, I nailed it. How do our listeners, if is there anything you got going on, Michele, that our listeners can take advantage of? I know you bring a lot of value as well. Anything that you want, a way to get in touch with you, or if you have an event or something going on?
Well, I know everyone here for the most part is in real estate. So if you all want to, learn a little bit from me, you can go to sellwithoutsleaves.com and learn how to sell without sleaves. So I've got a 5-step system called the Pitch Queen system to really take the stress out of selling for good and really help you boost your confidence in your sales conversations. So again, that's sellwithoutsleaves.com.
Love it. Thank you, Michele. And Masters, here you go. Here's Gary Vee. All right, man. Well, first off, thanks for being on Path to Mastery podcast, my friend.
Thrilled to be on.
Super excited. Appreciate you, spending some time with us. One of the first things I really want to do is make sure I bring some value to you, brother. I'm about 3/4 of the way through your book, crushing it. It's absolutely awesome. I've given it to about 10 people now. I just want to know from you, what's the essence of this book? What do you want people to take from this book?
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. Episode 100, right?
Well, actually, Gary, this is going to be episode probably 103. And we'll talk to you about that in a minute.
Okay, I love that. Actually, you know what's funny? I like that even more. I can't wait to hear that part. Anyway, the essence of the book is the opportunity is now. It's real. There's a land grab. And if you know how to run ads and make copy and creative and pictures, if you understand what's happening and you execute within it, the return on the investment of the education and the execution within the modern social internet is extraordinary and all time. And I implore people to take advantage of it.
And, one of the things I took from the book is a lot of people aren't doing this out of fear, right? It's probably, to me, one of the most common reasons why people aren't taking advantage of this stuff.
Well, that's life, right? That's the punchline of life. Fear and defense is the 99%. That's exactly right, my friend. And it's too bad. And for me, it's lack of fear and optimism. And so, that's why I think a lot happens for me. And then the hard work and garnishing your skills. And so what a book like Crushing It is trying to do is get people the right mind frame and then also talk about the things that they should be doing within it. And so that's what I'm hopeful will happen.
Most of my listeners are real estate agents, as I think you know. We started to have a conversation at Agent 2021. Ryan Serhant was there. He shared kind of his thoughts on real estate, the future real estate. Maybe there are going to be no big brokers. My thoughts are a little different than that. And we started having this conversation actually at one of your Ask Gary Vee episodes, but I want to get your opinion. What are you seeing with real estate disruption? What are your thoughts? Think 2021.
Look, I think anytime you're in a business like real estate, you have to be great at marketing. So newspapers and radio and direct mail and bench ads, they all mattered and they need to address that. And so I think they need to understand what the variable is and attack it. I think that's on my mind. And so I think that everything I talk about is massively important to real estate agents. You can't be a real estate agent that expects to be successful in 2021 without running Facebook ads properly and understanding that paradigm. Because by 2021, it's going to be, whether it's Facebook or something else, that will be the game. I think for I think personal brands over-index on this new medium. And so for a real estate agent, it's even more disproportionately impactful. And so I'm pushing.
All right, my friend. Awesome. And I know value has become kind of a challenge in our industry where a lot of people feel like they can go to the internet and, that's the way to find an agent now. It's no more going to the local guy. As a matter of fact, think about the Super Bowl. Redfin has an ad running 1% listings. That's kind of game changer. That's disruption in our industry. So what are your thoughts when we had that conversation?
Yeah, man. Uber and Amazon are the preview. Every industry is affected by technology and better execution. Real estate's already been affected by that with home listing sites and things that sit in between a broker and the end user. And so I just don't understand what people are waiting for. And so the only way to combat something like that is to attack your own marketing strategy and being direct to consumer at scale. And so I'm just baffled by people's inability to invest in themselves in what's coming versus what it is. And I implore people to get serious about it. Redfin is going to seem like baby talk in 5 to 7 years. And so if you don't start attacking these platforms and what I'm talking about, I do think that it's going to be detrimental to your business long term.
Don't you think, though? 6 months ago, hardly anybody was using Facebook ads. Now, pretty much all the realtors I know, everybody's using Facebook ads. So what's next? Or do you think that's going to get saturated too? What should we be doing?
I'm not sure what's next. I'm not necessarily Nostradamus, right? I know that this is current. And I know that I've been yelling about Facebook ads to real estate agents for 6 years. So if you're telling me this is only a 6-month phenomenon from your standpoint.
Yeah.
So I think there's still a lot of opportunity for Facebook and I think Instagram ads are incredibly great for real estate agents. And so I think that would be the other thing to think about.
What up, Masters? I'm going to get you right back to the show. I want to share a couple opportunities with you. First off, my new training program I'm super pumped about. People have been asking me for years, guys. It's School for Realtors. It's an expired training. I'm giving you everything, my friends, every single thing that you're going to need to convert expired sellers in this competitive time. All right, I have every single script you're going to need. From the initial conversation, how to keep people from hanging up on you, to the closing script, right? We're giving you a copy of our pre-listing packet. I'm giving you emails that you can literally copy and paste templates. I'm giving you a 65-day email campaign, guys, that you literally copy and paste. Expired flyers, okay, 2 different marketing pieces. And we're giving you actual ads that you can use on Facebook. Guys, these are targeted ads that I've been using on Facebook where I'm generating people calling me and saying, hey, I see you guys everywhere. Yeah, why don't you come over and take a look at my house? So I'm giving you everything. This is called Expired School for Realtors. Simply go to schoolforrealtors.com. Costs you $149. I wanted to make this such a no-brainer because it's going to be the best investment you will ever make in your real estate business for $149. And here's a better thing. There's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So at the end, if you said, you know what, Dave, I just didn't get value in your expired training, then I'm going to give you your $149 back, and you still have all my material. So how's that work, right? You can't go wrong. Listen, everything is here, everything you need. And here's the last thing. We have a monthly call. You're part of an awesome community where everybody in the community has the same goals, okay? You're sharing things that work with each other. And I am logging in monthly and doing a live training for everybody. You have role play partners. Listen, this is everything you need. It's so simple. You go to schoolforrealtors.com, you get to download, and then you just start downloading. And I even made it step by step by step. All right, that said, awesome opportunity for you. And then finally, and we're going to get you back to the show, I promise. If you love audiobooks or if you love podcasts, you need to check out Audible. Audible.com is Amazon's audiobook site. You can get yourself a copy of Crushing It or any book you want. I would encourage Crushing It for free by going to davidsfreebook.com. Again, davidsfreebook.com. Get yourself a free copy of any audiobook you want on Audible. Yes, they're going to ask you for a credit card, but here's what you're going to do. As long as you cancel within 30 days, your credit card will never be billed. So schedule a reminder in your calendar 25 days out. And if for some reason you don't love the service, then you cancel and your card's never, ever charged. And you get to keep the book. Guys, listen, these are opportunities. How do you go wrong with either of these opportunities? Okay, listen, you rock. I just want to share that with you. So a couple opportunities, school4realtors.com and davidsfreebook.com. Enjoy the rest of the show. You know, I recently heard you on another podcast, and the host basically said in his industry, the middle is getting wiped out. I feel like that's exactly what's happening in real estate. Can you talk to that?
That's what the internet is. The internet is the middle. I don't understand what people think is happening. Like, think about all your day-to-day behavior. If the internet's big enough to put pressure on Walmart and put pressure on banks, you don't think it has enough ability to put pressure on you, the local celebrity real estate agent? You're crazy. And so, yeah, this is an inevitable game to the internet winning everything, and the people that know how to use it on top of it are the ones that are going to win.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And, you know, something else you talk about a lot is patience and empathy. When I met you at Agent 2021, you had said to me, "What's your truth?" I don't know if you even remember that conversation. You may or may not.
I do.
My truth is service and customer experience, right? Creating an experience for our clients. Why is that so important now? And as agents, how do we take that back?
It's always been important. The people that build brands win, not the people that do sales. And so the agents that have really given a crap were able to build reputation and build brands. And the people that were just in it for the money had quick wins and then over time lost that edge. And so it's always been important. It's just more obvious now because we see it playing out digitally. It's not hidden.
All right, I want to jump into empathy and patience. You talk a ton about empathy and patience. Honestly, probably patience is one of my biggest challenges. Super impatient. Even the whole process of putting this together with you. I know we were going to be episode 100. I wasn't able to put it together, so I used the clip from the other interview we did, and now it's 103. I mean, talk to us about patience, man.
Yeah, man. I think, like, you know, again, if you're running a marathon, then you have to understand what that all means, which is the longer you can hold your breath, the more you're going to win in business and life. I mean that. Like, patience really matters. Like, and I call it macro patience, right? On a micro, on a day-to-day, I'm running like a crazy guy, 15 hours a day. But my behaviors at the highest level, building relationships, worrying about my reputation, thinking about 15 years from now, it's all predicated on patience. And the other thing that patience allows you to do is not get caught up in the day-to-day wins and losses. To me, that's something that hurts a lot of people. They're just overly emotional and they get caught. They get really caught. You know, they'll overreact to a win or a loss. I just don't do that. You know, I'm always able to be the bigger man in every situation because for me, it's pretty easy to think about things long term. So if somebody screws me, I don't cut them out of my life. I try to deploy empathy and understand why did they do that. And all of this kind of goes into that patience. And I don't expect things to happen overnight. I did video every day on YouTube in 2006 for 18 months and nobody gave a shit, right? Nobody watched, nobody cared, but I knew it was right. I was patient and, you know, it's obviously led to a lot of good things for me. So voice right now, I have an Alexa skill, right? Gary Vee 365. It's not doing overly well, but I know it's going to be the thing. I keep innovating on it. I keep putting time into it. I'm always investing in people and things because I'm patient.
Yeah, you know, and empathy is another thing you talk about. And I want to understand that where you're coming from that perspective. I sense you, I feel you are genuine. Obviously, you're doing this now. You gave your word. You honored your word. I'm sure you get thousands of requests a day, if not more. I've got people reaching out to me all the time with stuff. Everybody's offering you this, offering you that. I mean, how do you have empathy for all those people? Or do you?
Yeah, I have empathy for everyone. I can't get to everyone. There's moments in time. Listen, I try to be a man of my word 100%. I'm sure there's people out there who I said I would be on their podcast and it didn't click. I lost the email. They gave up after one attempt. My admin screwed up. I screwed up. Like, you know, to me, it's just an intent, right? I have empathy for everyone. I try my best and I don't overjudge myself as a human. I'm just keep trying my best. And I like saying yes to random things. Like in the busyness of my world, there's a lot of people that would question this 10 minutes that I allocated to this. But I believe in karma and I believe in serendipity. And I believe that even though I know this isn't the biggest audience, that it might be just one person listening to you that creates the next thing, that creates the next thing. And so, you know, it's just kind of how I see the world.
Well, I appreciate you helping me too. Through this, we're growing the audience.
I mean, are you kidding? You're going to be able to leverage me being a guest on this show to get unlimited guests now. It's going to change the trajectory of your podcast. And that makes me feel nice. And that's just human. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, my friend. I'm curious to know, what is your biggest challenge right now?
Honestly, I don't even think of it that way. I would say probably crippled by opportunity. I literally have incredible opportunities in my face every day, every angle. But that's an unbelievable challenge. That's the Holy Grail, isn't it?
So how do you decide what opportunities you go for and which ones you don't?
Gut, experience, pattern recognition, intuition, relationship matrix, a million different things.
All right. And a couple more questions. I heard you on Lewis Howes, and I know you, Lewis, are close. You talked about being 50% selfless. What do you mean by that?
The way to be selfless and to give is to be selfish, right? So you got to get yourself right before you can give. I think one of the reasons I can give so much and do give so much is because I really focus on putting myself in a place where I'm happy and doing what I believe in and feeling like I'm in control. And so that's kind of how I think of it. Like, really hard to give unless you're in a good place. And so I think about being selfish and I think about being selfless. I play in both of those extremes.
You can't do everything for everybody all the time. So you're clear on that.
I am, but you can't do everything for yourself all the time either. And I think most people default into that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
There's far more people doing everything for themselves every time than there are people doing everything for everybody else all the time.
Yeah, that's a great point. What'd you do today, my friend, towards your goal of buying the New York Jets?
I had a very big meeting with a very big company. Vayner Media just won a big piece of business. I just took this call with you. Every action, all of them.
Well, man, you certainly helped me with my with my life and my trajectory on my podcast and all that, and I super appreciate that. And the final question on my podcast is, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take from this episode today?
One at bat, do something with it.
One at bat, do something with it?
That's it, my man. That's it. I just want people to understand how good it is right now, and they should do something with it.
And that's it is what?
Life is good. You got one. It's a hell of a lot better to go out and do something with it instead of dwelling and complaining. You're in charge. It's time for you to be accountable for your happiness. Whatever happened every day before this moment is irrelevant. It's what are you going to do tomorrow?
Just about taking action, man, and moving forward.
Yes, sir. All right, I got to bounce. I love you. See ya.
Love it, my friend. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Masters, if you know me, you know health and nutrition is number one, and that's why I'm an advisor for AdvoCare products. Listen, in my opinion, these are the best products on the planet, guys. You get what you're supposed to get, right? I use the products for health. I use the products for energy. I use the products for wellness. So we have all the different lines from Spark, starting your day with a great energy shot, all the way to pre-workout. It's whatever your goals are, right? It's whatever your goals are. You can check out the products at www.livelongersmarter.com. That's my website. Or reach out to me, and I'd love to have a 30-minute or, anywhere from 15 to 30-minute conversation with you, just talking about your health and nutrition goals and what I can do to help you achieve those goals. So again, products, energy line, or wellness line, whether it's joints, you're getting up there in the age, you just want to take care of yourself. I'll tell you, one of the greatest compliments I get is people, you say, wow, you look amazing. I cannot believe you are the age you are. Weight loss. I've helped lots of people, guys, lose weight, not just lose it, but keep it off with the products. And the cool thing is, I'd say 75% of the people who start with our products, they continue using our products even after they initially tried them, which has been amazing. And strength, if you're into bodybuilding, then hey, Rich Fronin, okay? I don't know if you know who Rich Fronin is. He's an advocate for AdvoCare as well. So amazing products. You can see us. We're featured on NASCAR, professional soccer, college basketball, college football, Men's Health magazine last month. These are the real deal, guys. LiveLongerSmarter.com is the website, or reach out to me if you, like I said, if you want to have a personal conversation with me, just send me an email. In the subject line, just put AdvoCare products, and I'd love, like I said, schedule a 15 to 30-minute call with you to talk about your health and nutrition goals. Guys, you rock. Live longer, smarter. And as Gary Keller eloquently said, if you don't take care of your body, where are you gonna live? You rock.
You are listening to One More Sale with your host, David I. Hill. author of the Sales Playbook. Get your copy at www.thesalesplaybook.net.